Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. We are back for another trucking vlog, obviously, and I am just about to do my pre-trip, but I've got an audience. I assume truckers probably feed these guys, and that's why they're hanging out next to my truck on my driver's side, but yeah, unfortunately I don't have anything for them, but I guess I'm gonna have an audience while I do my pre-trip, and they keep looking up at me too. So funny. I hope they don't attack me when I get out of here and don't have food. I guess we're gonna find out. All right, I'm not gonna go record the whole pre-trip this time, but I will at least record me getting out, just so that way if they attack me, at least I've got it on video and it'll be hilarious for you guys. Okay, they're all running away from me instead. They're so cute. As you can tell, it is a bit windy by the fact that they're like feathers and stuff are kind of working their way like the way of the wind. They're so funny. Dude, I just love animals in general. I don't care what kind. Oh my gosh, there's so many more. That is hilarious. They must come from this farmland over here. I can hear them like making noise from over there, so I assume that's the case, but oh, sorry guys, didn't mean to scare you. We are getting rolling. We are obviously picking up in the middle of a load, hence me being at a truck stop. And that load is on its way down to San Jose. So my home area, which is nice, that's where I grew up, is in the Bay Area. Not San Jose, but I grew up in Fremont, which is about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so from there. So I mean, depending on traffic, it's like 30 to 45 minutes. And my family does still live there, so I am going to hopefully get to see my family, which would be awesome. That is the current plan. They're going to pick me up and we're going to go to dinner, which will be pretty sweet. I am looking forward to that. I don't think, my mom usually doesn't like to be on camera. I've gotten her to be on camera before, but I don't think I'll be able to introduce you guys to them because I know my mom probably will deny it, and my dad would be down to be on camera and be introduced to you guys, but I think, you know, again, if my mom isn't gonna do it, then, you know, my dad's gonna be like with her, so it's gonna be hard to record one of them and not the other. Again, they have been on the channel before, so I have introduced them to the channel before, but again, I know a lot of you are new since me starting these trucking vlogs, so I hope you guys will get to meet them someday. But I don't think today is going to be that day. We also have gotten a couple of warnings. So I woke up to a siren, like a tornado siren going off this morning. And if I still have that clip on my phone, I can't remember if I saved it or if I just recorded on like Snapchat, like a temporary thing or something. But if I got it, I'll insert it here. My goodness. Yeah, woke up to like that siren, and I looked online and the only thing I could find was a flood watch. So I would assume that that's probably what the siren is for. Now obviously looking right now at the road and how dry it is, I don't think I have to worry about flooding at this very moment, but I would assume that that is probably what the siren was for. Now it is also pretty windy, but I'm in Orland, California, so I talked to a guy inside even. I was like, hey, do you know what that siren is for? It sounds like a tornado siren. He was like, well, I've lived here my whole life, and I'm like 20, he was like, I'm 24, and I've never heard of a tornado touching down here. So I'd assume it's not that, and I was like, do you guys have like a siren for like flood warnings or like high winds or anything like that? And he was like, yeah, I would assume it's probably for the flood warning. We do get flooding here sometimes. And I was like, okay, I'll assume it's that then, and we're probably good. But there's also a moderate wind warning. I think it was like 20 to 25 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 45 miles an hour. And I am loaded pretty light, so I'll just have to be careful, keep an eye out on, you know, exactly how much the wind is pushing me. Yesterday was pretty strong, and I still was fine, you know, like it kind of blew me out of the way like a few times, but it was just like, again, it wasn't like I had to worry about the truck flipping over or anything, and the only reason I did, like, was able to blow me over, like, into the shoulder, kind of, was just because, like, I kind of let it. Like, from the people that I've talked to, the truckers who have been doing this for a long time, who have, like, driven in really high winds, you know, like, through, like, Wyoming, where the winds get to, like, 80 miles an hour and stuff, is they said, like, pretty much, if the wind is pushing you around, like, let it. Because as soon as you try to fight it, that's what's going to cause your truck to flip over. So if you let it kind of push you over, like, obviously if you're getting really close to the edge of the road, then you got to kind of fight back. But, you know, if you have the means to let it push you around a little bit, then let it push you around. So that's what I did yesterday, and that seemed to work just fine. I didn't at any point feel like I was in danger or anything. And I think the winds today are about as strong as they were yesterday. I mean, right now, I've obviously only been on the road for a minute, but right now it feels like they're not as intense as they were yesterday. So hopefully that will continue to be the case. But either way, I don't think I really have anything else to say for right now. I'll probably not record again until I'm getting into the Bay Area. And driving in the Bay Area is always interesting. That's where I learned to drive and everything. Because again, I lived there until I was 18. I lived in the Bay Area until I was 18, and then I moved up to Oregon, and that's where I, you know, live now. But I will say, every time I come down to the Bay Area, I'm always like, man, I forget how bad the drivers are here, you know. So yeah, we'll have to see. But either way, I'll see you guys when we start to get into the actual Bay Area. Okay, I'm not actually in the Bay Area yet. I don't know why I said I wouldn't record again until then, because I feel like it was pretty inevitable that there would be something I would want to say or talk about before then. And it is the fact that it is very windy. So it really hasn't been an issue, but I did still want you guys to, like, kind of see just how windy it is. So I'm about to drive by, as you can probably see it now, this huge American flag, and that thing is whipping in the wind. I mean, that is a very, very large flag. That thing usually, even when it is kind of windy, because I drive this a lot, you know, and even when it is usually, like, kind of windy, that thing is, like, hardly moving, and that thing is absolutely going crazy right now. I mean, ooh, and a Mercedes AMG GT, that was cool, on that car hauler. But yeah, you can see it is very windy, and the wind is mostly a headwind, so I think that's why it's not really blowing me around too much like it was yesterday. Yesterday was like a direct crosswind, whereas today it's kind of, I mean, you can kind of see by the flag and the direction that it's going. It's not directly a headwind, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's like barely, it's basically like this. So, yeah, it's not really pushing me around too much, which is nice. Obviously, the interstate does kind of move around. Oh, tumbleweed. And I just smacked it. Oh, well. Yeah, so, you know, it's not, like, too bad to have to deal with, but I don't think that's what I was going to say. I totally lost my train of thought. The tumbleweed threw me off. This is the problem. And I hope you guys aren't getting sick of it if you are watching multiple videos, or if you've watched multiple of my trucking vlogs now. But this is my problem. This is the only issue that I still have with my trucking vlogs, is when I, like, forget what I'm talking about. And I try my best to keep talking, so that way there's not, like, long pauses that I either have to edit out or that you guys just have to sit through. And I also have tried really hard lately to not use a lot of filler words like uhs and ums. But with me not doing that, it results in me, like, panicking and trying to talk through me forgetting, like, what I was gonna say. And in me panicking and trying to talk through, like, forgetting what I was gonna say, I usually end up saying something that either makes no sense or is not at all what I was trying to talk about. And I think that's what just happened there, but even that, I don't actually know. I might have said what I was trying to say, but I guess I'll find out when I edit. We are now cutting off from I-5 onto I-505, and this interstate and I have a little bit of history, and it's a pretty fun story. So hopefully you guys are down for yet another story time, because that seems to be all my trucking vlogs have been lately. But my wife and I were coming down here one time. Okay, I guess, let's see, how do I want to set this up? Basically, my wife and I, it was our 1-year wedding anniversary, and we were coming down here to visit my family because, Like, that was kind of just what we decided to do. It was a way that we could still like celebrate our 1 year anniversary, but like was also cost effective. You know, still like it was still a vacation, but it didn't cost us like hardly anything basically. So it was our 1 year wedding anniversary, and we were coming down here, and I at the time worked for a company where I had a company vehicle that we could use for personal use. And again, even that is a little weird. We were supposed to have a company vehicle, but this was at the time that Ford had an ECU shortage, so they didn't actually have enough company vehicles for us. So I was in a rental car. I was in a Toyota 4Runner, and it was like a brand new 4Runner. And at this point, this was when rental cars were like all super high mileage because they couldn't get enough rental cars. So I had just gotten this like brand new 4Runner. And we were like, cool, let's take it on a trip down to California, you know, like, with that company, I didn't have to pay for gas or anything. So it was literally just like a free road trip. And we both decided that it would be a great idea if we both worked our normal day and then left after work. Mind you, we both didn't get off work until like 4 something or 5 o'clock or something like that. And this is like a 10 or 11 hour drive from where we lived to my parents' house. So maybe, I think 10 hours. So so we had just worked a whole day. Each of us had worked a whole day, a whole 8-hour day, and then decided it would be great to do 10 hours of driving after that. So that was our first mistake. And it was in September, so it was at that point where it's like starting to get dark like a little early, you know, but like not quite, but it still gets dark. It was getting dark at like 7, I think, ish, you know, and neither my wife or I really like to drive at night. So again, don't know why we did this to ourselves, but we did. So we got to the point where we had been driving for about 8.5 hours at this point, right? We were like an hour and a half away from my parents' house at this point. And it is, gosh, I don't remember exactly what time it was. It was late though. It was like 11:30, midnight, something like that. And we are on this interstate, and like usually during this drive, because we do this drive, you know, fairly often to come visit my parents, we like, I'd say it's 50-50 of whether we fly or drive. And so usually when we get to this interstate, we're like, okay, we're in the home stretch, you know, like we're almost there. Like, we just got to buckle down, get through this last little bit of the drive. So we're like, you know, we've been complaining for the last hour of like, oh my gosh, this drive feels like it's so long. Like, I can't believe we're still not even like in the home stretch yet. So finally we get to this spot and we're like, cool, we're in the home stretch, you know? And we are, I mean, this road at night, it just, there's nothing here. I mean, like, you can't see any of the hills or anything. It's pitch black. And there's a few sections of this road. In fact, we're basically in the one bend in this interstate that there is, that you can see right here. Like, I've got this straight shot, and then it kind of goes to the left, and then it's going to go around these little hills in front of me, and then it's a straight shot again for like forever, basically. I mean, it feels like forever, you know, miles and miles and miles. So you can see way off ahead of you. And mind you, at this time of night, there's nobody on the road, like nobody at all. But I can see police lights like way out in front of me this night. And so I'm like, I'm kind of, you know, Al and I are talking, and I'm like, what are those police lights? Like, it looks like they're on both sides of the road, or like that they're blocking the road. Like, is the interstate closed? And I'm like looking at my Google Maps, and I'm like, Google Maps isn't saying that anything is closed. Like, it should be open. And so the speed limit on this interstate is 70 miles an hour. So I was going 70 miles an hour. Because again, I was in a company vehicle, so I'm not gonna like speed in a company vehicle, you know. Even when the flow of traffic was going higher than that, I usually was going about 70. So I start to slow down because I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on. We're getting closer and closer. And I should note, when I first saw the lights, we were probably still like 7 or 8 miles away. I mean, we were still a long ways away. So then we're starting to get closer, and like at this point, it's getting really hard to tell because the lights are reflecting off of the road as well. Because it like, I don't think it had rained recently, but it was a part where the road had been recently repaved. So, you know, it did that weird thing where like the road kind of looks like oil slick, and so it reflects stuff off of it. So, is that a plane? What am I looking at here? That is a plane on the road. Okay, well, that wasn't what I was originally recording for, but that's interesting. And the plane is now taking off from the road. Wow, that is weird. Okay, well, anyways, I guess while we kind of watch the plane take off, or at least you guys watch it while I watch the road, I'm just going to kind of aim you guys towards it and hope you guys can see it. There it goes, taking off. And it's gonna fly right over us. That's kind of cool. Anyways, as we're getting up to the police cars in front of me, I'm starting to slow down because I'm like, okay, it looks like they're blocking the road or something. So I'm slowing down and continuing to kind of slow down more and more as I'm getting closer and closer and closer. And at this point, I can now tell that they are on both sides of the road, and we are like really close to them. Like, we're probably from where I am now to that overpass about how close I am to them. And this whole time I've been so focused on them that I haven't been looking behind me. So I look up into my rearview mirror right as I see headlights coming straight for me, going probably like 2 to 3 times faster than I'm going. I'm going, again, like 40 or 50 at this point. I've slowed down a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this person does not see this stuff. Like, they're about to hit us. So I literally like reach over to my wife and I'm like, brace for impact, honey. And she's like, what? And she then looks in the mirrors and sees the headlights, and we both like kind of, you know, prepare to get absolutely pile drived by this car that's coming up behind us. And right at the last second, I mean, he is like right behind us, the headlights dip down into the ground because he slams on the brakes. He swerves out from behind me right as we're now like at the point where we are basically at the police cars. And he swerves out from behind me, and like it looks like he's losing control, and swerves back across in front of me, and there's a police officer standing outside of his vehicle, and this guy that just swerved around me almost hits that police officer. And we're like, oh, you know, my wife and I of course are freaking out. We're like, oh my gosh, what the heck just happened, you know? And then like I realize, like we kind of realize that there's more police cars coming up behind me, and so I start to pull off into the shoulder, and I let one police car goes behind me, and we're like, oh, he's in a police chase, you know, like that guy is getting chased by the police. So now like multiple cops have gone by us, and we're kind of continuing to drive, and then all of a sudden the front of my car dips down like into the ground, and I've got like no steering. And at this point I've kind of started to pick speed back up, but again I'm having to kind of keep pulling over. Thankfully I'm kind of having to keep pulling over because there's police cars going by. So I thankfully was not back up to 70 miles an hour. I was still only going like maybe 50, 55. And so yeah, my front wheels dip down into the ground, and I've got like no steering, so I kind of drift off to the left lane, or to the left shoulder, and I'm like, okay, well I don't want to be over here, you know. But as all this is happening, my wife goes, oh my gosh, he's in a police chase, and we just hit his spike strips. We hit the spike strips that were meant for him, and we blew both of our front tires. And we're like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me, you know. So thankfully, you know, like a few more police cars go by while I'm in the left shoulder, and thankfully there's, again, it's the middle of the night, so there's no other cars on the road, so I'm able to limp the car off to the right shoulder, which is obviously, you can even tell right now, the left shoulder is nowhere near as wide as the right shoulder is. And in where I had pulled over, that case is even more amplified, where like the right shoulder is nice and wide. So I get way off the freeway, and I get out of the car, and I'm like trying to wave down at least one of the cops, you know, to like be like, hey, you know, we hit your spike strip, like come on, help us out. None of them pull over. They all continue on their way. So finally, so we get on the phone with non-emergency, and we're like, hey, I don't know how to describe this or how to explain this, but we just hit a spike strip, and it wasn't meant for us. We weren't in a police chase or anything, but we hit a spike strip. Like, what do we do about that? And they were like, oh, yeah, are you kind of near Winters? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, okay, yeah, that you hit the spike strip, that was for the police chase. And we were like, yes. So they're like, well, Winters only has 2 police officers, but they're kind of the ones facilitating that chase at the moment, so we'll try and get one of their officers out to you, or at least we'll get a sheriff out to you to kind of chat with you for a minute, and then he'll have to come deal with it. So a sheriff eventually pulls up, and he's like, hey, are you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, we're fine, just like don't know what to do about this. And so the officer looks at the tires and he's like, yeah, that's kind of a problem. And then he goes, unfortunately, like it's being facilitated by the Winters Police Department, so like I can't really do anything for you guys, but I'll get on my radio, dispatch one of them out to you, and they'll get to you when they can, and they'll kind of facilitate getting a tow for you and all that. But for now, I'll stay with you guys until he gets here, just to like for your safety. Because we had said when we were on the phone, we were like, we're like next to the freeway, and like we don't know where we are, so we just don't feel very safe. Like if we could just get an officer to like kind of protect us, that would be great. And so thankfully the sheriff did do that. He was super nice. He did have to take like my ID and stuff just for their records and all that, but he was super nice, and waited. And then eventually the like department, the chief of the police department in Winters, it meets up with us. He explains the whole situation, and it was cool. We just got to chat with him for a while. He was, again, another really nice guy, and he was like, yeah, this police chase started back in, whatever city it was, I don't remember now. It was 4 people in the car, and it was like a Bonnie and Clyde situation, I guess. The driver and the passenger in the front seat were like husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend or something. They robbed some store and then took off, and there was 2 other people in the car with them. I don't know the whole situation with that, but he was like, yeah, it's like a Bonnie and Clyde situation where they robbed this store and then got into a chase, and we've been chasing them for quite a while, and that spike strip was our pretty much last shot at catching them. And so thankfully they did hit the spike strip, and the officer, told us, or the chief told us that they actually tried to take the next exit, but all 4 of their tires were blown, so they just went straight off the exit like into a field, and all 4 of them bailed from the car, but they ran into a vineyard and then like stopped running basically, and they had a police chopper and all that. So long story short, they all got caught, and all while this is going on, they're detaining these people, or like getting them in the field and all that kind of stuff. A tow truck comes by us and is like, hey, I'm here to tow you guys, like, because the chief had called in this tow truck. He's like, hey, I'm here to tow you guys, but I got to get fuel to the police officers, because they had all been chasing for so long that they ran out of fuel. So they had to get fuel from the tow truck operator, and then the tow truck operator did that and then came back and towed us. Again, to make the rest of the story short, we basically ended up getting towed into Winters. They had like a 4-star hotel that we got to stay in for free. It was super nice. All the tows were free. We ended up getting towed to the rental car agency, and then I just got a new rental car because, again, like it was a company deal and all that. But yeah, basically all of it was paid for by the police department and everything. But it was a wild situation, and we told my family, like, hey, we're not going to make it tonight because of this, and my family was like, wow, what a crazy story. And it was such a long night, and thankfully we did get to stay in such a nice hotel, and we were like, okay, although this all does suck, because we just wanted to make it the rest of the way, and like we ended up not getting to the hotel until like 2 a.m. or something like that. It was kind of a blessing in disguise, because again, we were down there for our anniversary, and we ended up getting this really, really nice hotel that we got to enjoy for the night, free breakfast, all this kind of stuff. So it was, again, ideally we would have just not had it happen at all, but for the fact that it did happen, it ended up working out pretty well. So I'll show you guys when we get to the actual spot where it all happened. As long as I haven't passed it yet, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the road signs, so I don't know for sure if I passed it yet, but I don't think I have. So when we get up to it, I'll tell you when what areas everything happened in, so that you guys can actually see it. But yeah, that's my crazy story time from getting spike stripped by the police a couple years ago. Sorry, actually, I'm recording one more thing, because here's that plane that just took off from that road that was next to us. He's doing passes in this field off to my left, so he's like running right over the freeway. That is so cool. So cool to watch. not dropping anything yet, or at least nothing I can see, but that is pretty cool. It's crazy how low they have to get. And then they just like cut, you know, yeah, cut right up like that. So whatever he's dropping must be very, very thin, because I didn't see anything actually coming out. We are coming up to where it all happened. So the exit for Winters is coming up. And I think dude, I hate California. It sees this, my truck sees this little line on the side of the road and it thinks that it's the rumble strip, and so it farts at me. But anyways, so the police were right about here. They had like, you know, set up right here, and you know, the spike strip was out like in this general area. I don't know the exact spot, but like somewhere before the exit for Winters. So like in this area kind of. So here's, whoa, a Mustang with some drag slicks on it. That's crazy. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Anyways, so we hit them, you know, back there or whatever, and then as we're continuing forward, like I'm kind of pulling over, letting some police go by and all this kind of stuff. So I pull over again, like here kind of, and then I get back out, and then I start to speed back up, and I get to about here, and I'm going like 40 or 50 miles an hour, and this is when my front tires dip down, and I end up over there. And then we end up pulling off, like once all the police had gone by, we ended up pulling off right here into this little dirt area, literally right there. And that was where we had to wait for, you know, a tow truck and all that. And then this Puda Creek Road, or whatever it is, however you pronounce it. I think it's Puda. That is the exit that they tried to take. And you'll see here in just a second that it is like one of those, you know, U-turn kind of off-ramps. So yeah, you can see it's a 20-mile-an-hour U-turn kind of off-ramps. It ends up going off that direction. So they went straight off right there and landed kind of in the middle over here, and then they ran off into that orchard, and that was where they ended up getting caught. But yeah, the whole situation was just wild. We still can't believe that actually happened to us. And I do possibly, I had it on my Google Drive at one point, footage from it. If I do have it, I'm gonna have to mute it, because I'm sure we were listening to music and also like probably yelled all kinds of profanities. So I'll have to mute it. But if I do have that footage, I will put it in here so that you guys can see what happened, and I'll try and unmute whatever parts I can, I guess. Oh, are they going after him?
Oh my god, that is what it is.
Oh. Wow, okay. Oh, I've got a flat tire.
Oh, you hit spike
I hit
strips.
a spike strip. That's cool. Yeah, the whole situation was crazy, and every time I drive through here now, that's what I think about, and I get to relive the memories. We have deviated from I-505. We are now on 80 West, and this is usually where things like start to get crazy. It pretty much goes from 0 to 100. We're out in like the middle of nowhere, 2-lane, you know, interstate, and like hardly anybody on it, to then we just get dumped into this mess where it's like a 5-lane, well, 4 right now because they're doing construction, but a 5-lane highway with lots of people getting on from, you know, on the on-ramps, and, you know, lots of traffic and stuff. So it gets pretty wild. But and also people just drive like absolute maniacs. I mean, as soon as you get onto this road, there's people weaving in and out of traffic, going like twice as fast as everybody else. It's crazy. A Challenger, nice. Lots of cool cars. That's always my favorite thing about the Bay Area, and probably the only thing that I actually miss about living here is just the car culture. Lots of cars all the time. You know, the weather's always nice, so like all year round people are out driving their nice cars. Whereas in Oregon, it's like there's, you know, 3 or 4 months a year where people are actually out driving their nice cars. usually the rest of the year they're parked in a garage, you know, so that they don't just sit out in the rain or whatever. So that is the only thing probably that I miss. And obviously, like, my friends and family that live here, I miss them too. But those things could, like, move, whereas the car scene doesn't move, you know. Those things. I just said those things about my friends and family. Those those people could move. But anyways, yeah, probably the only thing I miss is the car scene, and literally nothing else. I every time I'm here, I get reminded of why I moved away from here, because everything else about here I am not a fan of at all. So yeah. Also, sorry about the bug guts in the way. I tried to wipe them away with my windshield washer fluid, and it literally did nothing at all. It's like, yeah, it's as if the windshield wipers are not even touching the stuff on the windshield, which is super lame. So sorry about that, but either way, I'll see you guys next time I've got an update. We are now on 680, and we take this for a fair little while. Oh, okay, you're just not gonna let me over? Cool. Thanks, appreciate that. And then you're gonna hang out in my blind spot. Nice. Cool. Well, sorry, workers. I wish I could have given you more room, but people hate me. Anyways, we take 680 for about 70 miles, and then we cut across to 101, and then we're on 101 for like a very brief amount of time, and then we take an exit to, I think, Blossom Hill Road or something like that, and then take that pretty much to where we are needing to go. So yeah, 680 is pretty cool. We go across the Benicia Bridge, so I'll record that for you guys. It's a pretty cool view, and I think that's all I got for the moment. And we're just about to pull on to the Benicia Bridge. There was a warning that said that there is high winds on the bridge, so we'll just have to be prepared for that. There also, I believe, is a train coming across the bridge, but I can't see it, unfortunately. I don't think I'm up high enough. Oh, yes I can. It's an Amtrak. There it is. Very cool. Just a short little train. Literally, of all the years that I've driven across this, all the hundreds of times I've probably been across this bridge, I've never seen a train on the bridge. So that was very cool. But yeah, the view is really pretty. I guess the view is actually usually better from that other bridge because you can see further, but you still get the idea. Big Chevron oil refinery over here. Pretty sweet. Pretty cool spot. Well, I know I've complained about this a lot, but man, I really hate the roads in California, dude. They're so bad. I just hit probably the worst bump I have ever experienced in a truck at 55 miles an hour, and I knocked just about everything off of these two shelves right here, which again, they've got like a lip. Like, stuff should not be falling out of there. And look at, like, so much stuff fell out. Even I had an empty water bottle in this cup holder down here, and even that came out because that bump was so vicious. I was on the phone with Al at the time too, and I scared her because I was getting hit in the head with stuff, so I like, you know, reacted to that. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, you know, like, because all of a sudden here's a bunch of stuff hitting me in the head that should not be hitting me in the head while I'm driving. And she thought I got into an accident, so I feel really bad about that. But man, it's crazy. We have reached our first bit of traffic. I'm shocked, honestly, that it took this long, but here we are. And as usual, here's somebody trying to, oh, they gave up. Okay, good. Somebody was, I thought they were gonna try and get in front of me, but they're not, thankfully. They gave up, but yeah. Our first bit of traffic. I am only now like 30 minutes away from our final destination, well, I guess not 30, I shouldn't say 30 minutes because it's traffic, so I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm like 20 miles away from our final destination, so I expected to hit traffic a lot sooner, and I expected to get to our final destination at like 3 p.m., and I think we're going to end up getting there at like 2:30 p.m., so pretty sweet. Sweet that it took this long to hit traffic, and it looks like the traffic does not last for very long. In fact, I think that was it. I think we basically just came to a stop, and then we're going to get back to rolling. So I don't know what caused that or why it was there, but whatever. Oh, maybe this is why. Maybe this car. No, that looks like just somebody that pulled over or something. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. Okay, we are now working our way onto 101, and we are only on 101 for 6.5 miles, and then we take our exit for Blossom Hill Road, and then Blossom Hill Road essentially takes us all the way to where we're parking for the night. So we are just about there. Another cool view. Again, sorry it's kind of blocked by the bug guts, but hopefully you still get the enjoyment of the view with the mountains and hills and all the cityscape around. We are now taking our exit, so now is when things get real interesting because we drive through, you know, the actual city, and that's always entertaining. Oh, a triple left turn lane. I'm assuming I should probably be in the far left of the triple turn lane. So I'm just gonna work my way all the way over here. And yes, I think that was a very good call. Oh, and now my truck's gonna beep at me because of all the people over there. Oh, come on, truck. You can't accelerate faster than that. Alright. First turn, not great, but successful. Let's see what we got next. I think next we turn right onto... Yeah, I think next we turn right onto Almaden Expressway or whatever, which is the street that the Costco is actually on. So we've got, oh my gosh, Google Maps is saying it's going to take us 12 minutes to go 3.5 miles. I don't like the looks of that. Alright, well, I was just going to record the rest of this, but it's going to take me 12 minutes then. I guess I won't. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys when we're doing our next thing. Right, here is our right turn onto Almaden. This turn seems fairly straightforward, thankfully. And then I think the Costco is right back there somewhere in there. I guess we'll see in just a minute. I make this right, and then I pretty much immediately make a left. So I have to wait for it to be, like, I have to wait for a green light or for it to be completely clear across all the lanes because I have to go all the way across. So I've got a feeling I might wait a while. Oh, maybe not. Seems fairly clear, but... Oh, and they are coming to a stop. Oh, but this is California where these people can make a U-turn. So I'm just gonna wait. And that is why. It's because people make U-turns. So, just gonna wait for a green light after all. No, but of course the turn lane is gonna go first. Oh, and this guy's texting. Nice. I mean, it gets better to do it now than while you're actually moving. But man, he has not looked up from his phone a single time. If his light were to go green, he would have no idea. See? Alright, and then we make our left. Interesting. This is like a whole, like, complex. I hope that there's actually parking where there's supposed to be parking for me, because right now it seems like this lot is like kind of full. I'm not feeling super confident. Huh. This may be interesting. I don't think there's going to be parking where I'm supposed to park. And that is going to be a very large problem, because I think I'm supposed to park underneath that Almaden Plaza sign, and I can see that there are cars parked there. Huh. Well, this may be a problem. Oh, okay, maybe there is a spot available. I can kind of see some space. Man, I really hope so. I really hope, even if there are, it looks like there are some cars there, but I think there's still enough room, hopefully, for me to park. I forgot about the fact that, like, this is San Jose, so of course it's going to be, like, crazy. And one of those is a security guard, so it'll be interesting to see if he says anything to me. Guess we're going to find out. Wow, I don't even know how I'm going to get into that lot. That's a very sharp turn. I guess I'll just put on my flashers, because I am going to have to really get crazy here in order to make that. I might just have to back into that. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Alright, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna back into that little area. Wow, this is going to be interesting. Clear of that minivan, but I think I'm going to be at too much of an angle here. Maybe not. Okay, I think we're good. Alright, I've got this little curve here. So let me see how far out this curve goes. Okay, so I just gotta go straight for like another 2 feet. I guess I'll just leave that open. Straight for another 2 feet, and then I can start getting underneath the trailer. Into, and that's fine. Okay, we are all clear, but there is this one person that's like parked right where I need to park in this Ford Explorer. I've just really got a feeling this security guard is going to be like, hey, you can't park there, and I'm gonna have to argue with them about it, because my instructions tell me I can park here any time of the day. these people are just eating, so I'm just gonna hang out here, and I think they'll either figure it out or hopefully they'll see that I am waiting for that spot and they'll move. But either way, we have made it. Okay, so I've actually got this whole space right here. It'll, you know, I'll have to kind of park at a weird kind of angle in order to kind of fill up this space, but I think I'll park there instead. So I'll probably have to pull forward a bit and then kind of work my way into this and watch out for these trees and stuff, but I think I'll be able to just park kind of right here. Oh shoot. I had it backwards. I wasn't recording when I thought I was. Oh no, I wonder how long that was for. Okay, well either way, I ended up getting into this spot. It worked out perfectly, so I'm now backed into the corner. We're not even touching any of these trees either, which is sweet. And I literally just it was like a perfect parallel park back kind of deal. So we're all set now. And of course though, as I was doing that, the person that was parked in these spots moved, but honestly I think this spot's better because I'm kind of further out of the way. So yeah, I think we're all set. Now I basically just play the waiting game to see if this security guard comes over here and tells me to move or not. Again, if he does, I'm not moving, but we'll see if he tells me to or not. The security guard that was parked there has driven off and did not say anything to me. So I think that means we're good, which means I am going to close up my truck and wait for my parents to come pick me up and then go get dinner with my family and enjoy it. And I will see you guys in the morning. It is now the next morning. I had a wonderful time with my parents. We had a very, very nice dinner and I really enjoyed it. So that was awesome. I was very, very thankful to get to see my family and stuff. It was so cool. So now we are headed to our first stop. So again, just a reminder, we parked at what will actually be our second stop. So we are going to come back here, but our first stop only allowed parking after business hours, which wasn't until after 8:30 p.m. And I obviously got here a lot earlier than that. So we are headed to our first stop. We're about 20 minutes away, so we should be there. It is currently 6:24, so we're gonna get there just a little early, like 15 minutes early, which is exactly what I wanted. So that is going to work out quite nicely, I think. And we have to go the same way that I came in, so I have to go back down. Even though I would only be like 10 minutes away, I cannot go the way that is 10 minutes away. I have to go, because of the truck routes and everything, I have to go back this way, which is away from the facility, and then over, I have to take Blossom Hill Road over to 101, and then 101 up to Tully Road, and then Tully Road will take me basically to the Costco. But yeah, it ends up being like 23 minutes supposedly, as opposed to if I actually went the quickest way, it would be 10 minutes. But either way, I will catch up with you guys probably when we're at the Costco. Here is the Costco. We have to kind of loop around the back to get to the loading docks. So I'm gonna make a left on this next road here, and then the loading docks seem like they're really, really easy to get to. It seems like they've got a little like alleyway that we basically just pull into, and I can park and go inside and see, you know, if they're ready for me and stuff. And then if they're not, I can just wait in that alley until they are ready, and then I basically just pull right up to the, you know, to the dock, and it seems like it'll be very easy back. Hopefully that ends up actually being the case. Sometimes, you know, it looks one way on Google Maps and then it ends up not being like that, but I think this time it will be. At least I, again, very much hope so. Right up against the curb right here, so that way there's still a way to get through. and I am going to go check in. They are ready for me, and they're having me go to door 2. I gotta say, this dumpster is in a really weird spot, and they've got all those garbage cans over there that are also in a weird spot. So, I mean, I think we'll be fine. It looks like I can still fit through there, but I don't know. That's gonna be really tight. I don't know if I am gonna fit through that. I don't think I am. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna fit. Alright, hang on. I gotta talk to somebody and figure out if we can move some of this. Okay, he is having somebody come out to move them, and dude, they are all full of meat. Like frozen meat. I guess it all went bad or something. But that is crazy. That is so much like wasted stuff. It's just wild. Like that is 5 full garbage cans of meat, and obviously it reeks. I mean, when you walk by, it smells so bad. But yeah, that's crazy. That's so much wasted meat. It's so terrible. These poor guys, man. They were moving it, and one of them tipped over and dumped all the meat out. So now they're going in to get something to move it, I think, or brush it out of the way, or pick it up, or whatever. But I don't know. Either way, man, I feel so bad. There's a lot of people walking around, so I just gotta keep an eye out. But I'm going into dock number 2, which is the only open dock. So that's pretty straightforward. I do have all these people to look out for, give myself the best setup. I'm good? Wait. Okay. Okay. Turned it into a blindside back, but I don't think that's too big of a problem. Go ahead and pull back forward and get the doors open, and then we'll go and actually back. Oh, and I had myself off duty, so, or not off duty, but on sleeper press. So let's change that.
sure.
Yeah, quite a lot of it, that's for sure. Oh, perfect. I thought maybe I didn't go far enough. All right, sweet. Ended up being really easy, despite the fact that I kind of ended up like blindsiding it for a second. Didn't end up being too bad. And there we have it. All right, that is that. I'm gonna go in, they're gonna unload me, and then we will continue on to our second stop. I'm also gonna ask these guys if they're okay with being on video. Okay, I talked to those guys just to make sure that they were cool with, you know, being in the video and everything, and one of them actually like asked for the channel name, and so I pulled up the page and took a picture of it, and he said he's gonna subscribe and stuff and is happy to be on video and all that kind of stuff. So if you are watching this, thank you for being cool and for letting me know that I was clear to back, and I appreciate your help and appreciate you being here. Oh, and also we have checked in, and I am actually allowed to stay in the truck. Usually, again, with Costco's, they make us go inside and wait inside, but he said I can just hang out in my truck because there's a lot going on in there. They're doing a remodel or something. That's actually what those guys, I think, were here for. It looked like they were bringing in a fridge or freezer or something. So, again, if you're watching, and you were one of those guys, you can let me know what that actually was that you were bringing in, because now I'm curious. But, yeah, they're doing remodeling and stuff, so there was a lot going on in there, so they said I can just hang out in my truck. So that is what we're doing, and then hopefully they'll be done somewhat quick, and then we can head on over to our second stop. So our second stop, we're supposed to be there at 9 a.m. It is 7:30, and they have not started unloading me just yet. But again, usually once they do start unloading, it's pretty quick. So I think we'll be fine. We are all unloaded, and the guy from receiving actually brought my sticker like out to me, and I've never had that happen before. So that was really nice of him. But we are now going to go ahead and move out from the dock, and unfortunately the way that trucks are supposed to go out is blocked by all of this construction equipment. Now there is another way that like I can still make this work, but it just is kind of a bummer that I can't go out the way that I'm supposed to, because the other way does not seem quite as easy. So yeah, just a little unfortunate, but that is okay. So what we're gonna do is actually go down kind of the front of the building, and I'm just gonna kind of get all the way out of the way, and then I'll close my doors once I'm over here, and then yeah, we'll have to go down to the end kind of there, and then make a right, and then that'll take us to the exit, because we need to get out. I don't know if you can see that white car out in the distance there that's in that driveway, but that is eventually where we need to be, is that little driveway there. But there's a little row over here that we can kind of go through. But again, either way, gotta close the doors first, make sure that I don't need any load locks, and then also do my little message thing that about, you know, being done. My words are not working today. All right. Oh, and I gotta reseal the trailer too. All right. Let's get this all closed up. And perfect. They laid everything down. Well, not laid it down, but you know, they took it down to one stack, so it won't fall. So I appreciate that. place was very pleasant. Alright, it is all sealed. So we'll send our message real quick, and then we'll get on our way to stop number 2. Okay, and we are getting out of here at about 8:15, so we will be on time for our next appointment. It says we're only about 15 minutes away or so. So we're gonna get there right about 8:30, a little after. It says 8:33 is what time we're gonna get there. So yeah, gonna get there plenty on time. But first we gotta get out of here. To swing it around this corner here. Not ideal, but again, I think I can make it work. Just gotta keep an eye out for these trees. Okay, we're good. But then I now have to make a left here. That I don't think I'm gonna make. I am not, at least not without backing up a little bit. Alright, again, gotta watch out for the trees and that curb, but looks like we're good. Alright, and the rest of these trees seem like they're up pretty high, so should be all set. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Obviously, again, would have been more ideal if the actual truck exit wasn't blocked by a bunch of construction equipment, but it is what it is. Oh, I'm kind of blocking the driveway. I don't know if this person can fit by me. Oh, they can, easy. I forget that cars are not as wide as trucks are. So I was like, oh man, that's not a lot of room, but it's plenty of room for a car to get through. I guess not plenty of room. I wouldn't say it's ideal, but it's enough room that they can get by without a major issue. All right, we are now out on the road. Like I said, only about 15 minutes, so I will see you guys when we get to the next Costco. We have arrived at the Costco, and my GoPro did that thing again. So I think it's that one specific battery, because I only have that issue with that other battery, and it I checked again, and so I don't know if that's happened already in this video, but what keeps happening is that I record something, and then the next time I go to record, the GoPro is dead, and despite the fact that the last time I had recorded, the battery was at 80% or something. So I think what's happening is just that there's something wrong with the battery, and it's overheating, and then it's dying, because again, it's only happening with that battery. So either way, thankfully, I was able to just pull over and I can replace the battery real quick, and you guys can still see the back and all that kind of stuff. But either way, it's annoying that keeps happening, where the GoPro keeps dying for seemingly no reason, but whatever. Whoa, a black squirrel. That's cool. Either that or he's just a wet squirrel, but that definitely looks like a black squirrel to me. You just gonna hang out there, buddy? Yeah, that is definitely a black squirrel. It's so cute. Don't worry, I know that black squirrels do exist. I just wasn't sure if that actually was one or not. Alright, and we just kind of loop around, and then kind of same thing as last place. We basically pull past the dock, and then should just have a driver's side back right on in. But again, I have to check in first, so we'll see what they say. And I've got 2 messages, so it looks like maybe we've got our next pre-plan. I probably won't record it because I'm starting to fall behind, but I don't know, we'll see. They're also, the pass, Ashland and the Siskiyous and all that kind of stuff, is closed at the very moment. So I don't know if it's still gonna be closed by the time I would get there, but If it is, I may end up being shut down somewhere for a little bit, which would give me time to catch up, which would give me the opportunity to record the next trip. So we will have to see, but either way, one thing at a time. First things first, I need to get checked in. So let's just stop right here and see what they have to say. There's somebody in dock 1 at the moment, but they said that I can go ahead and just pull through between these two trucks here, and then when the person in dock 1 moves, I can just take that dock. Got a little bit of a tight fit to get through here. Okay, this guy is just going to this truck. Okay, perfect. Alright, so we're just gonna go nice and slow because I did see somebody walk off this way, I think. So I just want to be sure. I would really hate to run someone over. Well, that would certainly not be ideal. Actually, oh shoot, I think she said to wait in front of the bread truck over there. So, because that's right, I'm waiting for the depot truck to come by. But I think I might just have to. I think I might just have to wait in front of this other truck. And hopefully the depot truck is just the cab and not a truck and trailer. Shoot, I screwed that up. Oh well. Well, if he ends up being a truck and trailer, I'll just have to kind of shimmy. Oh, okay, this guy is leaving. So I think we're good. Oh, I guess I can just leave that window down. All right. Wow, that is much sharper than I thought it was. I thought I had gone way further, but that's okay. I think we can still make that work. We can definitely still make that work. Just a little bit here. We're actually just about lined up with the dock here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull my doors open and stuff. Pull forward just a little bit to make that kind of easier. All right, let's go break the seal and get the doors open. The doors are open. So now we just gotta go back to the door. This is one of those places where the lines don't actually line up with the door, and I hate when we go to places like this, because I usually use the line as like a reference point, and I can't do that. So hopefully we're looking good here. I'm probably gonna get out. Well, yeah, we're looking pretty good. go check the wheels, see if they want me to wait inside or in the truck, and then we'll call that good. We are all done, and apparently to get out of here, I have to go back out the way that I came in. So that's why I'm like way over here and kind of at a weird angle right now, is because I have to like loop around this wall that's off to my right. And it's not super ideal, especially because there's a truck right there, another truck. But I think this won't be as bad as I thought. It is not. I thought that was going to be way worse. Definitely did still, you know, have to work for it, but it wasn't terrible. However, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit through here, so I'm going to have to wait. Okay, the driver moved. He saw me and immediately was like, oh shoot, let me move. Like, sorry about that. And I was like, dude, you're all good. So he moved. We're now done. I just got to do my paperwork and stuff, but I can do that over here. So that is what we're going to do. But I think that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. I had a great time as always. I've been having a ton of fun recording lately, and the channel is growing, and it's so cool to see. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying making the you know, the content and stuff, and it seems like you guys are enjoying watching it just as much as I'm enjoying making it. So I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys are here, and especially, again, I've said it before, but all of those of you who like comment on every single video, it is so greatly appreciated, and I really do try my best to respond to every single comment as best as I can. And YouTube Studio does some weird stuff sometimes where, like, if you reply to a comment, it for some reason doesn't show up for me, but whatever. But I guess the point is, if you guys are commenting, whether I actually reply or not, I am still very appreciative of it. But again, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing if you're not already, and also make sure to like and comment on the video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next trucking vlog, whenever that might be. Peace. Okay, bonus clip, because this is just a cool moment for me. So this exit right here is actually so I'm driving through my hometown currently, and this exit takes you to where I used to work. I used to work at an In-N-Out. Just down that road over there. You're not going to be able to see it from here, but it was over there. That was the first job I ever had. I was 16 and a half basically. And so this section that we're now about to drive was part of my commute when I used to work there. So this is just kind of a cool moment for me to essentially be doing this so many years later, because, you know, it's now been 8 years, a little over 8 years since my first day of work was a little over 8 years ago at that In-N-Out, and now here I am driving a big rig on the road that I used to commute from In-N-Out on. So just a cool moment for me, and wanted to share it with you guys. But now that's really it for the video. Peace.